So the topic of last week's lesson was, why are they afraid of us? And I believe that was an excellent topic. We learned a lot. The feedback was absolutely excellent. Thank you very much for those that tuned in. Thank you for the suggestions. Thank you for sharing your feedback with me. I read everything and I replied to all of you the best that I could. And I'll continue to do the same thing moving forward. All right. So in last week's topic, why are they afraid of us? We concluded that it was because we are united with people from different opposition parties. What an amazing thing, right? We are new, we are fresh, we are clean, and here we are coming into this political space and literally taking over the political space in Uganda, right? Just like Kyoto has taken over the media political space when it comes to people power in Uganda, along with the many other bloggers and that are in this space trying to advocate for Bobi Wine and Uganda, the country. So we also talked about the different kinds of power and found out which ones we had, and we also found out which ones the government had, right? So I'm going to go through the recap, starting with the 6 different types of power. Power number 1 we talked about was physical force. The government uses violent physical force to try to intimidate you as a way to silence you, right? Power number 2 is wealth and money. The government uses money to buy support. Power number 3, state action. The government forces the people to comply with their rules through threats, torture, and murder. So the first 3 powers that I have just discussed, the government has these powers, and that is perfectly fine. We do not want them, right? These are negative powers to actually have, so we don't want them. So in a productive government, in a government that's a democracy, there's 3 other powers that are very important. And power number 4 is social norms. So the question here is, what are social norms? So they are unwritten rules of behavior that are considered acceptable in a group or society. So for example, making eye contact the same way that I'm looking at you right now, this is a social norm. As you're speaking to someone, you make eye contact, right? Shaking your hand, that's a social norm. And guess what? There's a new social norm in Uganda that's absolutely cool. I don't know where my people power beret is, but wearing a people power beret, wearing a red beret is becoming a social norm in Uganda. Being a supporter of the people power movement is a social norm in Uganda. Everyone wants to be part of the people power movement, no matter where they are. I am sitting right here in Washington, D.C., talking about people power because people power has become a social norm in Uganda, right? So what's cool about this power is that this is peer-to-peer power. You influence me and I influence you, and the trend continues until we have the numbers of people on our side that are strong and willing to affect change no matter what, right? So power number 5 is ideas. So ideas influence and motivate people to change the way they think and act. And we have seen Bobi Wine display this power. We have seen the Kyoto team display this power. They get on here every single day to motivate you and to influence you so that they can make sure that you're part of people power. You have joined with people power, right? And you're preaching the people power message far and wide. So that is the power of ideas. And then power number 6 we talked about was the power of the numbers in Uganda is numbers. That's power number 6, numbers. So the power of the numbers in Uganda today is when people like you and I come together to support a common cause and a collective vision. Everyone puts in their 2 cents, right? In order for me to demonstrate this power, let's talk about Stella Nyanzi. Stella Nyanzi decided that, hey, I am over this. I'm going to come out, I'm going to speak up, I'm going to make sure that these people know exactly what I think, right? And, she's basically telling Kizza Besigye, Bobby Wine, that, hey, what would be wrong? She's telling opposition, what would be wrong if Bobby Wine was president and Kizza Besigye was right there, right next to him, serving alongside him? What's wrong with that? What if it was Mugisha Muntu? What if it was Norbert Mao? What is wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. But guess what? As she does something like that, like this, more people start coming out, and now we are able to grow the numbers. So part of growing the numbers is people like you and I speaking up, right? There's a saying that stand up to be counted, right? So if you don't stand up and you don't let your voice be heard, then you are not going to be counted, right? So the last three powers that I just discussed were social norms, ideas, and numbers. And these are positive powers, activists. And guess what? We have these powers. How amazing is that? How amazing is that, right? So 3 on 3, it is a tie, comrades, submission 2021. Here we come. So that concludes last week's lesson recap. All right. So in this week's lesson, we are focusing attention. We are focusing attention on comradeship, unity, leadership, and teamwork. So we're going to discuss what steps we need to take for you, what steps you need to take to create a team, to ensure that you have safety guidelines in place, to ensure that you have your own core team to lead you into Mission 2021 that we're going to turn into Victory 2021, no matter what, whether it's going to be an uprising, whether we will get by through elections, whether we won't even have to go into elections. So, what is comradeship? So, comradeship is a friendship between a number of people who are doing the same work, or who share the same difficulties or dangers. And we have seen this in people power, right? So every day we say, comrade, but what is the meaning of that, right? So comradeship can be stronger than a blood relationship. We have made so many brothers and sisters in this movement for change that have become part of us. They've become our brothers. They've become our sisters. These are people that we trust. These are people we rely on more than our family members, because some of our family members do not want to even associate themselves with us. So I really want you to take this word comradeship very seriously, and I want you to understand it, right? So talking about comradeship, number one, comrades care for each other like parts of the same body, right? So in other words, they carry and laugh together and they never feel alone, right? Your comrade should never feel alone, period. So comrades are bound by a certain code of conduct and discipline. So our principal issued part of that code in last week in an audio where he was calling out for you and I to basically grow up, focus attention on the task at hand, and really stop calling each other moles. He was telling us that, hey, appreciate each other's actions. Pull your brother up. Don't sweep your brothers and sisters under the rug, because that is wrong. So, number 3, comrades have the same goal, same focus, same mission. Comrades never undermine each other. Comrades thank each other for good work and encourage each other to improve. Don't be jealous in any way whatsoever of what your sister or brother is doing. Instead, reach out to them and say, hey, is it okay if I join your team? I really love the way you activate. I have some friends on comrades on my page, Ruth, Lillian Wabobi, Noreen, They come by and they inspire me. They push me forward. Masamba Faustin. And that is what comradeship is supposed to be, right? So comrades must ensure the security and safety of fellow comrades. So who can affect change today in Uganda? The answer is everyone. You can affect change. I can affect change. We can affect change. The whole idea of affecting change is so it can turn into a we, so it can turn into numbers. Comrades, it's not about you. It is about us. It is about we. It's about Uganda, the country, not individuals. So we are going to move on to unity. So we know that other parties are guilty of some of the issues that I'm going to discuss, but let us focus on what we need to do as people power activists to improve and be better, right? If we focus on us rather than focusing on them, we can get so much more further. And before I go into this, comrades, begging you and I'm asking you to really share this live. A lot of work goes into preparing this information, lots of phone calls to lots of different leaders within People Power, associates, friends worldwide that support Uganda. So please, let's share as much of this knowledge as possible. If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for someone that you know, right? So again, we're talking about unity. Right? So what is unity? Unity is the state of or quality of being one or united. The state or quality of being one or united. So we're not focusing on external unity. We are focused on internal unity. External, outside. Internal comes from the inside, right? So we're going to focus on unity from within. And that's why Bobby Wine wanted to come out and put that audio out, because he wants us to be unified among ourselves if we're going to head into 2021 elections and win 2021 elections. So it is only when a team is united internally that it can unite with others. No external team, external meaning other political groups, can unite with a team that is fighting each other all the time, period. So if you have been on social media fighting with your teammates, calling them moles, stop. You are derailing progress. You're derailing the movement. We need to move forward in a politically mature manner if we are going to win 2021 elections. So internal unity attracts external unity. Positive energy attracts positive energy. Before I can expect someone to want to ally with me or to join me, I gotta be positive. I have to put in the work. I have to have the political maturity necessary to get them want to join me, to work with me, right? So I know that we are aware that opposition is not united when it comes to political parties, but where is people power in terms of unity? Remember, we are focused on us right now. Like, how can we improve? How can we be better, right? So I have good news for you and I have bad news. So I'm going to start off with the good news. The good news is that Bobby Wine has pushed for unity from the very beginning, from the very start. People power is represented by people from all different tribes and different regions. So no one can come to us and tell us that, hey, you guys are not inclusive of the average Ugandan. No. People power is inclusive of people from all different tribes, right? And regions, because we are serving Ugandans, right? So how about other political party? No. So first, let's go back real quick. So that was the good news. But then we also have the bad news when it comes to unity is we can do better in people power, right? So opposition leaders, hold on a second. So in terms of unity, how about other party opposition leaders? How are they in terms of unity? And the answer is opposition leaders in Uganda have not grasped the true meaning of the word power. You know, they can go ahead and lead their individual political parties for years, and again, for as many years as they want. But until they realize that removing Museveni is the main agenda and it's the most important thing to do right now, they're really just wasting time. So for as long as the NRM has been here, all these political parties that we've had in Uganda, what's the use? What have they accomplished? You know, and here we are as people power supporters. We've come into this space in a very short period of time. We've been able to affect change worldwide. We've been able to put ourselves on the map, right? So last week we learned that power is the ability to affect change. So to the leaders of opposition parties, we are telling you that if you truly want to affect change in Uganda, you should be doing everything in your power to manifest this change that you seek through your actions, not your words. And again, that's why we had Dr. Stella Nyanzi like putting in her 2 cents and saying, hey, would it be so wrong to let Bobi Wine be the next president? And where we can all work together. If he has the numbers, why not? What would it have if we really want to get rid of a dictator? Right? So another reason why opposition leaders have not united is that they have not grasped the meaning of the word leadership. What is leadership? So leadership is a process of social influence, which maximizes the efforts of others towards the achievement of a goal. In order for us to understand this definition, let us break it down by using Bobi Wine as an example. So it said leadership is a process of influence. What does that mean? It means that leadership stems from social influence, not authority or power. And that's why we have seen so many political leaders with political parties that have been in this space for a very long time, the veterans, but they have not been able to affect change, right? They have not been able to affect change because leadership stems from social influence, not just political power. You know, if you have political power, but you don't have followers, then hey. So this is why Bobi Wine came from being a musician to a member of parliament and to running for the highest seat in government, right? Because he has social influence. 2, it said leadership maximizes the efforts of others. Bobi Wine welcomes everyone that is nonviolent and wants to affect change, you know, within our people power, right? So now we want to find out, how does leadership relate to political party leaders? Leaders are supposed to serve the people, and it's not supposed to be the other way around. The fact that leaders on the ground have failed to unite is upsetting, and it shows that some of them are not serving the people of Uganda. And that's a shame, you know? So leaders are supposed to serve the people and not the other way around. I say this is because, the reason why I say this is because if they were serving us, the people, they should already have united by now. We should at least see the veterans standing together in their corner saying that, hey, we united years ago. But that is not the case. So to me, I feel like leaders are a mere representation of political organizations. They're not in touch with the people. Come election time, they're going to election season, they're going to come and want to get your vote, and that is the only time that they come to interact with you and I, and it shouldn't be like that, right? So why is Bobby Wine a good leader? You should know. We've talked about some of these things already, him actually being able to humble himself and say that, hey, we are not doing so well when it comes to unity, and is willing to come out and speak on unity, like with an audio that everyone listened to from different political parties. That shows leadership, because a bad leader will try to sweep it under the rug. They know the problem exists, but they're like, well, I don't want them to look at me and feel like we're not doing great, so we're just going to try fix it. But the thing is, could Bobby Wine have been able to reach the whole world if he had not put the audio out? The answer is no. So by Bobby Wine doing that, it showed leadership, right? Consultations. He wanted to do consultations because he did not want to draft policies on his own without consulting you. Though he was blocked, the intention was there. Again, that shows a sign of a good leader when it comes to unity. From the very beginning, as we said earlier, he united with all opposition. Whoever wanted to join People Power and was bringing something effective to the table, was nonviolent, is welcomed, and could affect change, was welcomed to People Power. Again, another sign of leadership. So now that we know the importance of comradeship, unity, leadership, let us see how you can build your team of activists leading into Mission and Victory 2021. Number one, only teams win. When teammates who understand each other, only teammates who understand each other are effective, right? I need to understand your message. You need to understand my message. We need to work together, because only teams win. So if you have your social media page and you can never put another woman there to support them, you can never put another man there to support them, all the posts have to originate from you, that's a problem, because only teams win. So whatever your social media page, wherever it is that you activate, it needs to represent People Power. It should not just represent Patricia Namialo. It should not just represent Lillian Wabobi. In fact, if you go to Lillian Wabobi's page, that is a representation of teamwork. She understands that only teams win. Kyoto is a representation of teamwork. I'm here, Patricia Sewungu's there, Jeffa is there, Pfizer is there, Joy is there, you see? And then we also have amazing people in the background that are just there to make sure that the execution process is good. Why? Because only teams win. So only teammates who love each other can deliver. Love means that you just cannot let a teammate land in trouble. And if they do, you don't ask questions. You get them out of trouble fast and you ask questions later. Period. Period. Don't let what someone else is going to say about your teammate affect you from helping your teammate when they're in trouble. Period. You need to put yourself in that person's shoes. What if it was you? What if someone created propaganda against you? And all of a sudden, people just ran away from you. We cannot afford to make those mistakes, right? So we're going to do a small exercise. So in your mind, all on a piece of paper, which you're going to have to destroy immediately after this, I'd like you to make a list of 2 activists that you think you really understand inside out. If you don't have them, no problem. So which 2 activists do you really understand inside out? Well, I understand Bobby Wine inside out. Bobby Wine can be one of the people you put if you don't know who to put. I understand Bobby Wine. I understand Lillian Wabobi. Those are the activists I'm going to choose, right? So then, after you're done doing that, think or make a list of another 2 activists whom you really like or love as persons. If you don't have them, it's not a problem. You can use Bobby Wine. You can also use me if you'd like. For me, I'm gonna pick Fruth Ruth, and I'm gonna pick Noreen Nakangu. I'm also gonna add a third. I'm also gonna pick Oma Kalinga. I'm actually gonna add one more. I'm also gonna pick Masamba Faustin, right? So now I want you to make a list of 5 activists that you think agree with you most of the times. I would say that it would be some of the same people that I've actually already talked about. So who are your activists that agree with you most of the time? I don't know. So now you need, and I want you to start the process of organizing your core activist team based on the answers that you have given. Now reach out to these activists in a special way and start building a solid friendship with them. Slowly, as you learn from each other, as you build trust, you're going to start working together, heading into Mission 2021. So activists, it's actually really this easy. You know, we all sit here and we say, but I don't have a team. The reason why you don't have a team is because you're overthinking this. Creating a team starts with the people you know. So reach out to these activists that you put down on your piece of paper and give them a call. Send them a really nice special message thanking them for their work, telling them that, hey, I've been following you. You have inspired me for so long, and I would like to get the opportunity to work with you heading into Mission 2021. Is there anything you're working on that I can help you with? How can I help you? Tell them what you're working on and let them tell you how they can help you. To show these activists that you really support them, share their live feeds on your Facebook page. When they post a comment, recreate it and post it on your Facebook page. By doing that, you're showing harmony. You're showing solidarity, which is very important, right? So what we need to understand is that just simply liking each other's comments on Facebook is not enough. We have to do more. So every single day, we have to become better activists. We have to up our game. We have to do a little bit more than we did yesterday. So to the activists working under a murderous dictatorship, safety is the most critical requirement. What do we gain to know about safety or security? Are we prepared? How does understanding each other and loving each other reinforce activist security? How does it build a sisterhood or brotherhood, leadership, unity, or comradeship? What is the risk of not understanding each other and loving each other? The truth is, people are getting arrested, people are getting killed. And it is for this reason that it's very important for us to unify. So it's important for us to create teams. It's important for us to work together. So in order to be successful, you will need to start working together in a planned way on Mission Victory 2021. So all these different teams that you created, each of these different teams can then come together and link up to cause a wave of activists that will lead us into a possible uprising in 2021 after the dictator steals the vote. Do you see the power of creating your team, your core team? The main goal is to lead, go to elections, vote. And after elections, we want to have teams all over Uganda that are going to create a wave, come together and uprise together in a politically mature fashion, right? And this is why we want unity with opposition. Moving on. Activist protection. We're talking about safety. When it comes to internal unity, internal strength and activist safety or security is a critical ingredient of that internal strength. No external group can want to unite with a team that cannot take care of its own activists when they get in trouble. Arrests, harassments. But before I even go into this, I want to talk about the don'ts. Some people have taken ownership of this movement in a way that they are so selfish that they're doing things that affect and derail the whole movement as a whole. And when they're done doing these stupid things, they expect you and I to get our money and bail them out of jail. And that is not okay. So if you're walking down the street and you're dressed in all red with your people power beret and you see, the UPDF pass by, don't start waving at them, talking about, oh my God, you guys are killing us and you're doing this and you're doing that. No, that's stupid. You're going to get arrested because you're being silly. The people that you're screaming at, have you ever seen them kill anybody in particular? They're good people within the UPDF, they're good people within the military. So we can't just draw attention to ourselves in a negative way by just screaming up and down the street, drawing attention to ourselves, getting arrested. And then next thing you know, we all look bad. Now we are focused on trying to get you out of jail instead of focusing on the movement as a whole. So some people have got themselves arrested on purpose as a way to get people to send them money to get them out of jail. And that too is not okay. And that's why at this particular moment, we all need to aspire to donate our money directly through the People Power Movement, www.peoplepower.org.ug. Let's channel our money directly to the principal because people are playing way too many games, right? So again, we go back to activist protection. How can we protect ourselves as activists? We can protect ourselves as activists by establishing activist teams in every locality. Just right now, we talked about how you can create your own core activist group, right? So these teams can be anywhere between 2 and 10, but better 5. A smaller group is actually more effective than a big group, right? So each member of, this is number 2, each member of the activist team should have the other's most secure telephone number. And on this note, a secure phone number can be one that belongs to a next of kin. It could be your mother, brother, sister, or any other relative that you trust. You see, when an activist is in real trouble, they switch off their phones to avoid tracking by security. Or when arrested, the first item security takes away from them is the phone. So in this way, you're not able to reach them, right? So there must be another way to get information about the activist that's in trouble. I personally encouraged some of the activists on the ground to write their own bio. Who's James Mubiru? Who's Lake Nalukenge? So you can write your own bio ahead of time, telling us who you are, what you've been doing. So then when you're arrested, we can get that bio and use it and just add to it instead of starting from scratch, right? So 4, always tell trusted friends, colleagues, or family members where you are going or what you are going to do. So that if something happens to you or if you went missing, this information will help to trace your whereabouts. 5, minimize the use of voice calls when communicating sensitive information. A text message is the best. WhatsApp is okay, but what if your other colleagues don't have data? Imagine you're communicating something very important. The police is following me. I am going down Kampala Road, but the person you're communicating to does not have data. They're probably going to turn the data on the next day. So by the time they turn it on, we missed an opportunity to find you. We missed an opportunity to report you missing in time. And as we know that every hour you waste is deadly. So 6, every activist must have a contact of someone in people power to report to in case of danger. People power lawyer, people power coordinator. This is very important, by the way. And this is why it's important to develop a core team. There's so many different times people or activists and comrades on the ground have been arrested that I've got that information in real time, which gave me the opportunity to sound an alarm very early on. And being that I had formed a really close relationship with these activists like Leka Nalukenge, James Mubiru, I already knew what to say about them. But even in these 2 instances, I did not have a direct bio from them. That bio, looking back right now, could definitely have helped. The best person to tell your story is you, right? So 7, do not, never keep a routine. Keep changing your routes. 8, don't put yourself at unnecessary risk by staying out late into the night at nightclubs or discos or bars, drinking too much. Someone is always watching. Be mindful of the time you leave or come back home, the places you visit, the restaurants, the bars. Routine is the worst thing to keep as an activist in a murderous regime. Make it difficult for the enemy to anticipate your movements. 9, know the law in case you are arrested or detained, and be aware of your constitutional rights. Why have you been arrested? Under what law? What offense have you been arrested for? These people think that we are stupid. They know that there's a lot of young people in this space, and they think that we're just plain out stupid. But we are not. And the reason why I say we're not stupid is because you're not getting on social media day and night to push Bobby Wine forward, to push Uganda forward because you're stupid. You're doing it because you're smart. You're doing it because you're brave. You're doing it because you understand comradeship. You understand unity. You understand power. You understand leadership. the things that we've talked about today. So you knowing the laws, you understanding the Constitution can really help you free yourself from prison, right? Because it's the law that the lawyers are going to use to get you out anyways, right? So you should also know the law. You should actually be able to work with the person that's with the lawyer and teach them a thing or two and tell them, hey, I once read A, B, C, D, and E. Why don't we use that as a way to frame me? Number 10, if you have received, actually number 9, taking care of your personal security and being aware of your surroundings and a group of people you are with is very important. If you're not familiar with some people and they're not unknown in your local areas, make inquiries and find out who the people are and inform others just in case of any danger. You women and you men on the ground, even us here in the diaspora, men are going to come into our inbox. Hey, Patricia, I've seen the way you activate. I want to be your friend. Oh my God, what's up? What's going on? Can we hook up? The answer is always no, or it should be no, right? Someone can come in, someone can come contact you as though they really care about you, but really they mean to do harm to you. And that's why you should just don't just jump into things. Don't just meet someone and just because they have on a people power beret, it's like, oh yeah, this is my comrade. No, take time to observe this person. Ask around, who is this person? And that is as a way to protect yourself. Number 10, which is the final one, safety precaution for people power supporters and supporters on the ground, irrespective of tribe, party. If you have received messages of a threat to your life by phone or other sources, keep the message and the phone number or source used to make the threat. Inform family members and colleagues about the threat and report it to the police. Let your LC1 chairperson and the community know. If the people making the threat are known, inform them that if they continue to do the same thing, the police already knows about what's happening. The police already has their phone number. So this has the effects of making them back off. Here in the diaspora, the same thing applies. I once posted on my Facebook page that I felt my life was in danger because it was in danger. I didn't stop there. I went to the police station and I filed a police report. Just last week, I added on to my police report. So safety, in order for you to protect yourself, part of it is kwebereramu. Don't feel afraid or ashamed to talk to your friends about things that you're going through. Don't feel afraid or ashamed to come on social media and cry out for help. Someone is going to see it and they will know what to do. So with this said, this ends the live feed. I would like to thank Ekyoto for letting me teach this lesson. I'd also like to thank the activists that I work with for all the information that they continue to feed me with in order to make this possible. So Oma Kaling and Yango, thank you very much for the efforts on the ground and the work that you're putting into the youth and for making this life possible. Mado Isaac, Moganga, Douglas Kato. Thanks, guys. I really, really appreciate you, Lillian Wabobi, and of course the Kyoto team like JB, Mwonge. You guys are amazing. Jeffa, you guys are all amazing. Patricia Sewongu. So thanks again and enjoy the rest of your day. Peace, love, and blessings. Thank you very much.